In this video, I'm going to show how I clean my car after a few days of snow and rain. Just a quick clean. Take me about an hour and a half. This video has been cut down, edited, sped up. But as you can see, there's lots of road silt and disgusting grime all over the car, so I need to get that off. I say this is a quick wash. By my standards it is. I'm not really detailing the car this time, I'm just using the regular products just to clean the paint, protect the paint and clean the tyres. So first off we'll give it a good wash down. Just a regular garden hose. I would normally use a pressure washer, but I couldn't bother getting it out. So I'm just using the regular garden hose. This is an Adams Polishes hose end. The only reason I've got that on right now is because it attaches to the foam gun that I'll show you in a bit. So just rinsing it off, getting rid of some of the the major dirt. A lot of it's really caked on, so this isn't really going to do an awful lot, but just gets the car wet. Wash off some of the bugs and stuff off the front. Get really rid of some of the salt. Now, I can do this kind of clean. I mean, the car doesn't actually look particularly dirty. I mean, you see when I was walking around it was pretty bad, but I normally layer protection on, so this isn't too bad to just give it a quick wash, really. The paint's kind of protected underneath. I was just spraying out the drain holes. Sometimes they get full of leaves and things, so it's a good idea just to clean those out so that the water drains off the windshield. I really need to get some hose slides for under the wheels because I keep getting my hose caught on the wheels. Adams Polishes, and I'm sure other people supply those, but I haven't got around to getting those yet. But today it was kind of irritating, kept getting my hose pipe caught. So. This hose I'm using is just it's one of those infomercial style pocket hose. It's actually pretty good, I like it. It doesn't get tangled. Well, it doesn't kink, I'm sorry. It gets tangled all the time, but it doesn't kink. As you can see, then I just got it caught again. So this is Adams foam gun, and inside it I have Adams shampoo. So the idea of this is it mixes the shampoo with the foam and produces a nice. This is, again, I've got a foam cannon that goes on the pressure washer. It's much higher suds rate, so you'll get the car completely coated. This just gets the soap on. So as you may have noticed, I mean, I do have 2 buckets out there, but for the actual car washing, I'm only doing 1 bucket. Normally you would use the 2-bucket method, so 1 for clean soapy water and 1 to get the dirt off of the sponge. But because I'm applying the clean soapy water directly from the foam gun, I don't necessarily need 2 buckets. So you can see it's not, I mean, it's getting good coverage, but it's not really, the foam's kind of very wet and it's not sticking to the car as I'd like, but I'm just getting the car covered, let it sink in a little bit, let it do its job. Getting it saturated, hopefully it'll loosen off some of the salt and grime that I've got on the car. It's also much quicker than using the sponge, I find. Although I use the sponge as well, so it doesn't really cut down too much time, but at least it gets it soaking. Just making sure I've got very nice coverage. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is clean the wheels, and this is Adams Wheel Cleaner. This really gets into the brake dust and some of the grime that's on there, so I give it a good liberal spray, get it all over the surfaces of the wheels. Speed this up, you've seen what I'm doing once, you don't need to see it on 4 wheels. While that's soaking in, I then go for the tyre and rubber cleaner, so this is for cleaning the tyres. You can use it on other things, other bits of trim as well, but I generally just use it on the tyres. So I'm going to use a scrubbing brush. It's slightly tough bristles. It's really a fender brush, so this is for cleaning inside the fenders, which I'll do in a second, but I like to use it to really get the grime out of the tyres. It's just regular road grime, dirt, whatever you've been driving through. I don't do the surface of the tyres, just do the edge, the face that's facing out. So I'm really getting in there now, giving this a good scrub, because like I say, I've been driving through a lot of snow and dirt. So this is really just getting all of that out of the thing. This car doesn't just have plastic fender liners, there's actually like a felt material. I think it's designed to cut down on road noise, with stones kicking up and things. It's a lot quieter, but stuff does get caught in there, so it takes a little bit extra time to just scrub that out. This is a wheel woolly, and this is for cleaning the barrel of the wheel, so where you get all the brake dust and stuff stuck onto the inside of the wheel, this gets there and it gets behind the spokes. It's quite a nice tool. I do have one as well that attaches to a drill, and I don't know what that one's called, but I do that every so often. I noticed there was some tar inside on the drum, the barrel, sorry, so before the end of, when I do a nice big clean, I will go through it. This is just a little detail brush. I just use this for getting the valves around the edge of the wheel and tyre and the lug nuts. It's just a nice little thing just to get some of the crevices. But yeah, the tar, I'm going to have to clean that off. I don't know if I whether to take the wheels off the car and give it a really good clean. It's kind of gross. So I've got a bucket of water that I'm cleaning these tools in. Alright, so just getting my hose ready, but next thing I need to do is use the wheel brush. So these are quite soft bristles on this, and just use this to just clean the actual surface of the wheel. It does a really good job. The only thing I find is that it flicks the chemicals into my face, so you can see I'm grimacing a little bit because it does flick it around a bit. I should probably wear glasses. I don't know how toxic this stuff is. Obviously it's watered down quite a lot, but there you go. Give it a nice thorough rinse off. You want to get all this stuff off. The wheel cleaner will kind of stain your tyres if you let it sit on the tyre. It comes this like brownish colour, and it looks like dirt, but it's actually kind of, I don't know, it's not really bleaching them, but it just leaves this kind of gross brown colour where it drips, so you really want to give them a good rinse off. Alright, so then I just go off and do all the other wheels. Same procedure, speed it up. Takes a little time, I think, and the reason I clean the wheels before I clean the rest of the car, so I was saying it was flicking things off. The wheels are probably the dirtiest part of the car, so I start with the dirtiest and go to the kind of cleanest. That's just a little sort of practice that I do. So once I'm cleaning the rest of the car, I'm not going to make the wheels dirty again necessarily, but if I clean the car and polish it and then clean the wheels, I'm very likely to spatter dirt and grime all over them. So I start with the wheels, get those nice and clean first. I did apply Tire Armor, which is another Adams product. It lasts a lot longer to kind of keep a nice shine to them. I put that on towards the end of the summer. We're now heading towards the end of the winter, and it's finally kind of given up, so I'll need to apply another coat of that. It really does seem to work, so between washes you don't have to apply tire shine, you just give them a rinse and it lasts a while. So alright, so now I'm just going back over it. Obviously the soap had kind of fallen off, so I'm just giving it another coating of the soap, and then I'll be ready to get my sponge. It's like a microfiber kind of sponge. I'll show you a quick look at it. And I've also got a grit guard in the bottom of the bucket. So the grit guard is, so between each cleaning, I'll really rub that against the grit guard and it gets any crap out. So really you should start maybe with the roof and then the hood and then the fenders and then the doors, and starting with the top of the car going down. I'm not really I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. So you want to start with the cleanest first, ideally, so the bits that don't, when you're driving around. So, but if you do, so like you just saw then, I did the bottom of the doors. I would then immediately rinse the the sponge. So you want to do the top half of the doors and then the bottom half. Oh, there's my kid. The bottom half of the doors are much dirtier than the top half because you get all the spray off the wheels, so you want to do that first. So then I'm coming to the back. The back half of this car was absolutely disgusting. You get all the spray and all of that, and obviously when it rains it doesn't wash the back of the car. It washes the front but not the back. So give that a clean, give the glass a clean. Alright, now we just hose it off. I'm doing this on a kind of a cloudy, sunny-ish day. You don't really want it to do it in the bright sunshine, but the Adams chemicals, the soap, does actually add a softener to the water. So if you have hard water and you don't want it to be drying on a sunny day, but the Adams shampoo will kind of soften your water a little bit, so you're less likely to run water spots. But if you keep the car wet and soapy as long as possible and then just get it all off in one go, then you really limit the use of the issues there, and then dry it quickly as well. That's the other thing. So right now I'm washing this with water, so I'm going to potentially get hard water. This is well water that I'm using. Alright, so I'm going to dry it, and this is a Sidekick Blaster. So this is it's like a hairdryer for a car. It's quite powerful. They do have a more powerful one, but this is great for what I need. So right now I'm just going in and getting any of the water that's sheeting on the top of the car off, and then I'm going and hitting all the jams, around the lights, around the blinkers, around the tyres, just anywhere where water can kind of get stuck. The reason for this, if you didn't do this and you just dried the car off and then polished it, you'd notice as gravity and driving it'll force the water that's stuck around, like the wing mirrors and things, it'll force it out and it'll just ruin your nice clean car. So this is just a nice way of just blasting all of that stuff out. So you can see it's running away from my wing mirrors right now. Get the badges, emblems, door handles, door jams, anywhere where water can hide, basically. Not getting it 100% dry. I'm going to do that in a second with a towel, but this is just to kind of really get the main stuff off. The towel that I use, I'll show you in a second, is really good. You can probably dry the entire car with just a towel, but this step I like to do just to get again, the badges all at the back around the lights, just really get all of the water out there, stop it from streaming down after I've cleaned it, or after I've polished it rather. It takes some time. There's a lot of intricate parts on the car. You just want to make sure you hit them all. You'll be disappointed if you don't. Alright, just getting the last little bit on the hood there. Alright, so yeah, this is again Adams polishes. It's called the Great White Towel. It's really absorbent. I've got a couple of these. One I've used so much that it's kind of gross, but yeah. So now I'm just hitting off any standing water that was left after the drying process. Get everything, the glass, the trim, everything. Just give it a really good going over. Actually, I missed a few when I was sponging the car off. I missed a few places, so the wetness of the dampness of the towel I was just using to kind of get off some of those extra little dirty pieces. Really probably should have used a little bit of detail spray. Works as a lubricant, so you're not scratching the car too badly. Just getting inside, around the jams on the trunk there. Wish I could work this fast. This camera's a bit rubbish. It was in direct sunlight, so it's bleached out the photo quite a lot, but what are you going to do? This camera angle's nice. Alright, so then I just go back over it with the Sidekick Blaster just to make sure there's no little extra pieces. I did find some around the window frames. Again, it's just settling, so you just try as much as you can. So now I'm going over with the the blaster and the towel. So you know, when anything shoots out, I'm just drying it up. Again, around the badges. Make sure you get around the badges, because sometimes the badges are on flat pieces of metal, and as soon as the water drips from behind them, it's like kind of ruins it a little bit. So, all right. So now onto the glass, and I'm going to be using glass cleaner from Adams Polishes, and I say a special cloth. It's just a microfiber cloth. It's double-sided. It's got like one side's slightly harder than the other side's a nice soft microfiber. So I just hit the headlights, and then the actual windscreen and door windows. Nice to clean the window wipers as well, because obviously they're running through rubbish all day, so give those a nice clean. Again, probably use tire rubber cleaner instead of the window wash, but to be honest, most of these products are quite similar. There's not really different concentrations and things, so really the only thing I did there that was wrong was I just used the same towel, so I got it a little bit dirty, but whatever. Clean the towels. Alright, so this is spray wax. So this is a newer product by Adams Polishes, and it's the previous time I washed the car, I used H2O Garden Gloss, which is a hydrophobic coating. So the car is already kind of protected. So this is just adding a sacrificial layer of wax. It's a very thin layer of wax, and it's really just to make the paint pop. And that's kind of one of the purposes of wax is, yes, it makes it shiny. Now I've got 3 or 4 different types of wax that I can use on the car. I've got a very hard, like Carnauba paste wax, which, you know, it takes a while to apply. It's very thick, and that gives you the most protection and the most shine. Then I've got like a buttery wax, which is a liquid form of Carnauba wax. That's really nice, but again, it takes a little bit of time to apply. This stuff, it's less protectant, but gives it shine, and it's really easy to apply. I mean, I'm just spraying it on and wiping it off. It's no wax on, wax off with this. It's just spray and go. Very impressive product. So I'm just hitting all the surfaces. One thing with wax is, the more wax layers you apply to a car, the duller it starts to look. So really try not to apply too many layers. In the when the spring comes and the weather's a bit better, I'm going to give this car a full detail, and in that process I use one of the Adams products called Strip Wash, and that basically I don't know exactly how it works, but it seems to melt all of the other layers and all of the other stuff that you've applied to the car, and it just takes it right down to the paint, so you can start correction and applying sealants and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really nice way of starting from scratch, so you not just keep applying and applying and applying waxes, because like I said, they can get dull after a while. So this is, like I say, this is just basically just a quick wash of my daily driver, and I'll alternate between the spray wax, detail spray, and H2O. Detail spray really just it's even less than the spray wax. The spray wax gives it a little bit of a coating. The detail spray hardly does at all. But like I say, you don't want to keep applying waxes over and over again. You really don't want to build it up too much. So what's next? Ooh, tire shine. Alright, so now that the wheels and tires are nice and clean, you can see they're a little bit flat, a little bit matte flat. And like I say, the tire armor that I applied a little while ago kind of gone now. So just wanted to hit this up with some tire shine. So I'm applying it with a microfiber kind of sponge, and just getting into all the details on the tires, around the lettering. It really just adds a nice shine to it. You can apply it directly to the tire or directly to the applicator. I'm doing a bit of a hybrid approach of both, and just rub it in. Now tomorrow morning, maybe want to do a little bit more, maybe roll the car forward or backwards a little bit, just to get around the bottom where I can't quite reach, but you get the idea. I mean, look at that, look brand new, beautiful. And just do all the others. Okay, so VRT, this is a vinyl rubber and trim kind of coating. Hitting all the black on the car basically. The salt and everything kind of gets into the, well, it's not really a diffuser, but just this trim at the bottom here, so just giving that a nice clean. One thing I noticed when I was down there is the metal on the fake exhaust pipes could do with the clean, so again, when I do the spring cleaning, I'm probably going to apply the metal polish to that. Just hit all the black on the front as well, around the license plate. I do have a splitter on the front, you can see the black thing at the bottom there. That I do have a matte detail spray, so it doesn't apply any shine and it keeps it matte. I would normally apply that there. I wouldn't use the VRT on it. This time, kind of clean enough, didn't need to, I'm not going crazy right now. And then waterless wash, so this is basically like the normal soap you would use, but you don't need to kind of rinse it down afterwards, so I use this on the door jambs where they're not as dirty as you can imagine on anything else. And that's pretty much it.